Hello, welcome back. So it is day 9, it's a Monday. We've got a 30-minute practice today and we're all working towards dolphin pose. So if you don't know dolphin pose, it is like downward dog, but we're on our forearms. So this is a fantastic pose to strengthen our shoulders and open up our upper back. I love this pose. I think it's fantastic. Let me know in the comments below if you love it or you hate it. I know some people who don't like it. But hopefully you'll enjoy this class. So if you need to grab anything for your flow, then you can grab those now. But other than that, I will see you back on the mat. Today's class, we're going to start in child's pose. So you're just taking yourself down to your mat. You can take your knees a little bit further apart, hips down towards the heels as you walk the hands out in front, folding down, melting towards the mat, feeling the tops of the feet pressing down into the mat, the knees, the hands, maybe even the forearms, maybe even the forehead, down towards the ground, pressing down. The eyes are closed. And just giving ourselves this time to slow down, connecting with the breath. Grounding ourselves. You can just gently notice the rise and fall of the back as you start to focus on that breath. Now taking some bigger breaths in. As we inhale, really notice that back expanding into the room, finding space between the ribs. And then as you exhale, slowly let the breath out. The back collapsing down towards the mat. Couple more like this, long inhale and long exhale out. And again, inhaling through the nose and long exhale out through the nose. And then from here we're going to come up onto our fingertips. So I want you to tent the hands up. Activating the hands, activating the arms. And then as we inhale, we lift the body slightly. Maybe the forehead comes off the mat. And as we exhale, we just melt the chest down towards the mat. Keeping those arms lifted and active just on those fingertips. And again, inhale, lift slightly, filling the body with air. Exhale, just melting the chest down, so you're really opening up through those shoulders. You can even do a little wiggle. And again, inhale, lifting. And exhale, melting the chest down. Staying up on the fingertips, just slowly start to walk the hands over towards the right. Still on those fingertips, tenting the hands up. We inhale, breathe into that side body. Exhale, just drawing that left shoulder down towards the mat. So really stretching out through that side of the body and that shoulder. And then as you next inhale, walking the hands back through center. And then all the way over towards the left. Again, still on those fingertips. Inhaling here, fill the body with air, stretching through that side body. As we exhale, we slowly start to feel that right shoulder now drawing down a little bit closer towards the mat. Breathing into those ribs, inhale. And exhale. And then walking the hands back through center. We're going to plant the hands down. And then our next inhale, we're going to rock forwards. Finding our tabletop position, so just walking those knees in together so they're underneath the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread. Just gently rocking forwards and backwards, warming up through those wrists. And then coming back to that neutral tabletop position, finding a little bit more mobility in our spine, finding our cat-cows as we inhale, scoop the belly down, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhaling, rounding the back, pressing the hands down to the mat, really feeling this rounding of the spine, rounding of the shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly down, squeeze the shoulder blades and lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, separating the shoulder blades. And again, inhale, scoop the belly down, squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift the chin. Exhaling, rounding the back, looking up towards the belly button. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, rounding the back. And then from here, coming to that neutral tabletop position again, flat spine. We're going to find these scapular push-ups, so warming up a little bit through the shoulders. So it's a little bit like we do in our cat-cows, but we're going to keep the shoulders and the arms nice and straight. As we inhale, we melt the chest down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then as we exhale, we press through those hands to round that upper back. So rounding the shoulder blades again. Inhale, we drop the chest down, squeeze the shoulder blades, almost like we're squeezing a pencil in between the shoulders. And then as we exhale, we round that upper back, letting that pencil roll off. And then from here, we're just going to go a little bit quicker, almost like we're pumping through those shoulders. You take the speed. Inhale as you come down, exhale as you round the shoulders. And really push those hands away as you round that upper back. Melting the chest down. I'm already starting to feel a little bit warmer in the shoulders. Just a couple more here. And then slowly, slowly coming back to that neutral tabletop. We'll give ourselves a little wiggle through the side of the body. Take those hips side to side. And then from here, we're going to inhale, lift the right arm up, open towards the right, open the chest. And as we exhale, taking that hand, threading it through that gap and just reaching towards that left-hand side. Don't place the shoulder down, just reaching. And then inhale, we lift back up, opening the chest. Exhale, reaching underneath, finding this flow, moving with the breath. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, reaching underneath, almost like we're reaching underneath a bed. Inhale to open one more time, open that chest. And then exhale, bringing that shoulder down underneath, that hand down underneath the shoulder. Other side, we inhale, sweep the left arm up, opening the chest. Exhale, reaching that hand all the way through that gap, reaching towards the right. Inhale, we lift and open. Exhale, we close, we reach. And again, inhaling, opening, big breath in. Exhale as we reach underneath. Inhale to open one more time. And this time as we exhale, we bring that hand down under the shoulder. And again, we can take those hips a little bit side to side. Rounding through the back. And then from here, finding our tabletop position, I'm wanting to start to lower down onto your forearms. So here I want you to put your forearms down, the palms facing down as well, but making sure that the forearms are parallel with one another. So you might need to walk those elbows in a little bit closer, so the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. And you've got that 90-degree angle with our forearms, with our arms. And then from here, nice strong through those shoulders and those hands. We're going to step the feet back to the back of the mat, and we find ourselves in our low plank position. So squeezing that core, squeezing the navel in, and then rounding that upper back, rounding those shoulders, pressing those elbows down into the mat, Really feeling those shoulders separate like we did in those scapular push-ups. Inhaling here. And then exhale, we're going to slowly lower those hips down and then untuck the toes. So we find ourselves in our sphinx pose. Again, those elbows should be underneath the shoulders, the palms facing down, and then gripping those fingers, gripping the palms into the mat, and almost like you're pulling the hands towards the elbows, feeling this opening through the chest, up back, lifting the chin, inhale, and exhale. If you want a deeper back bend, you can press the hands down to gently lift the elbows, lift the forearms, straightening the arms, finding our seal pose. Inhaling here, again lifting the chin. And then as we exhale, we slowly lower the elbows down and then lower all the way onto our belly so we can plant the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under. We're going to press all the way back to our downward dog. So lifting those hips up nice and high. Feet hip distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart. Little bend in the legs to really lengthen out the spine. Pressing those hands into the mat. Lift the hips a little higher. Checking in, making sure we're not hunched up in our shoulders, but that neck is nice and released. From here, we're going to inhale, rock forwards, find our high plank position. So the shoulders come over the wrists, squeeze the core. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward dog. And again, inhale, rocking forwards, high plank position. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward dog. Moving with the breath, inhale, rocking forwards. Exhale, taking it back. From here, we're going to walk the feet all the way up towards the top of the mat. Nice and slowly, meeting in a forward fold, gently taking the feet up. Little bend in the legs, feet hip distance apart as we hang the body over. Swaying side to side, release the neck. The arms are heavy. Big breath in. Exhale, release. From here, slowly, we're going to roll up to standing. Bend into the legs first, and then rolling through each vertebrae of the spine. Really feeling ourselves lengthening up as we come all the way up to standing. As we get there, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, down the back. Palms facing forwards by the side. Finding our mountain pose. Feeling our feet grounded into the mat, strong through the legs, the crown of the head reaching up. Inhaling here. Open the mouth, exhale it out. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead, and then as we exhale, they go all the way behind us and circling them behind our back. Interlacing the hands behind our back as we roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades, and puff the chest up. Inhale. See if we can gently start to lift those hands away from the lower back. It's okay if they're not. And if we haven't got that interlace just yet, that's okay. We can either use a yoga strap or taking a hold of your clothing. But from here, we're going to forward fold, still with our hands interlaced, or other variations. Forward folding down. Little bend in the legs here. We'll really feel this forward fold and let those shoulders open. Again, checking in, make sure that neck is released, shaking the head. Inhaling here. And exhale. Finding a little bit of a twist here, taking the hands all the way over towards that right hand side. So just gently leading them over towards the right. You can bend nice and deep into that right leg. See if you can get that right shoulder and that right knee to come together. And if you want, you can start to straighten the left leg, feeling a little bit of a stretch in that outside hip, the IT band. Inhaling here. Exhale to stay. And then bending into both legs, coming back through center, taking the hands over towards the left, leaning those hands towards the left, and try to get that left knee and that left shoulder to touch.
And again, you can straighten the opposite leg, so straightening that right leg if you want a little bit of that outer hip stretch as well. Inhaling here. Exhale to stay. And then slowly bending into both legs. We're going to release our hands all the way down towards the ground. Give them a little shake. And then once again, rolling up to standing. Come up a little bit quicker this time as we bring the arms all the way up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing the palms together at the chest. Just looking down towards the feet, just bringing those toes to touch, heels just slightly apart. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up, palms touch. You can even push those hips forwards, finding a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, we forward fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, slide the hands up the shins if you want, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping the right leg back only, big long stance. And just checking in, making sure that your feet aren't in the same line, but they might want to be just a little bit further apart towards the edges of the mat. Coming up into our high lunge, strong through the legs, we sweep the arms up overhead. Bending into the front leg, that back heel drawing behind. Inhaling here, lifting. As we exhale, I want you to cactus the arms out wide, so bending at the elbows, almost finding this little back bend, drawing the elbows back behind us. See if we can get them outside of our peripheral, lifting the gaze, lifting the chin. And then inhale, we lift the arms back to our high lunge. Exhale, bringing the hands down and stepping back to our downward facing dog. Both feet at the back of the mat. We then inhale, rock forwards, finding our high plank position. From here, exhale, I want you to bring both forearms down, one at a time, coming into our low plank position. Just checking in, making sure that those elbows are underneath the shoulders, the palms are facing down, squeezing that core. And then from here, keeping the arms where they are, I want you to start to lift the hips and walk the feet a little bit closer towards the elbows. So we're finding ourselves in our dolphin pose. Dolphin pose is basically like a downward dog, but on our forearms. I want you to think about bringing those elbows in a little closer. If you find that they're sliding and they're slipping apart, you can even interlace the hands together. But pressing those elbows in, really lifting the face or that forehead away from the ground, strengthening through those shoulders, lift the hips, inhale. And then from here, one at a time, we're going to place the hands down and coming back strong through those arms to our downward facing dog. Inhaling here in downward dog. As we exhale, I want you to bend the knees, look between the hands. You can step, walk, or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Toes together. We inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing as you bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, palms at the chest. Other side, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Then as we exhale, plant the hands, step the left leg back this time. Again, checking in, making sure that those feet aren't in that same line. Strong through the legs as we inhale, standing up to our high lunge, lifting the arms. Strong through that core, bending into the front leg. As we exhale, we cactus the arms out wide, finding a little bit of a back bend. Try to draw those elbows and those forearms outside of the peripheral vision. Opening the chest. And then inhale, we lift the arms back up. Exhale, bringing the hands down, stepping back to our downward facing dog. Feet at the back of the mat. We then inhale, rock forwards, find our high plank position, squeeze the core. Exhale, coming down to our forearms, finding our low plank position. Already feeling that strong base in our shoulders and our forearms, palms facing down, squeezing the core. Coming into dolphin pose, we then start to lift the hips, start to walk the feet in towards the elbows, making sure that they're still hip distance apart, those feet, and pressing through those elbows to lift that body a little bit higher up off the ground. If you want a little bit extra, you can start to lift one leg up, squeezing the core, still pressing those forearms down. Inhaling here. As we exhale, bring that foot down as we switch the legs. Inhale, lift the other leg. Really find that lift, making sure we're not collapsing in our shoulders, but we're pressing the elbows down to lift the shoulders up. And then bringing that foot down. From here, we're slowly going to walk back those hands to lift back up to our downward dog. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we then lower the knees down. Take ourselves to our child's pose. I'm going to stretch out through those shoulders. You can bring the arms down by the sides, letting the elbows fall down towards the ground and rounding out through those shoulders. Little rock side to side. Inhaling here. And exhale. From here, looking towards the top of the mat, we can slowly start to slide all the way forwards onto our belly. Taking the arms down by the sides and again interlacing them behind our backs. You can come either onto the chin or the forehead. That's just going to lengthen out that neck. And then from here, rolling the shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and start to use that lower back. We lift the chest. Inhaling here. You can stay like this, or we start to activate the legs, lift the feet, the knees, even the thighs, everything drawing up and back. Inhaling here. Exhale, slowly lower back down. Release the hands. Just rocking those hips a little bit side to side. Coming into this other back bend of bow pose. We then bend the legs. And see if we can take a hold of the feet or the ankles with our hands. If not, we can come back to that locust pose we were in before. Or we want to roll the shoulders back once again, squeeze the shoulders together. Start to find this lift through the chest first, and then kicking the feet into the hands. Finding this lift even more, drawing the shoulders back. Inhale. Stay as we exhale, find a little bit more lift. And then slowly lowering back down. Release the hands, keeping those feet up as we tick-tock the feet now side to side. Releasing that lower back. And then taking the feet back down. I want you to come back onto those forearms, finding our sphinx pose. So those elbows underneath the shoulders, palms facing down. From here, just extend that right hand out towards the front. So you notice that that elbow and that forearm starts to lift. And then we take that left hand and threading it through, palm facing up, and then thread that left hand all the way through towards the right. You're feeling the stretch through that outer shoulder now. And then from here, we then start to bring that right hand again, palm facing up, and taking it over to the opposite direction to the left. And then you might want to wiggle those hands, reaching into opposite directions. Palms facing up, so you're really feeling this stretch in the outer shoulders. If you want a little bit extra, you can tuck the back toes and just gently shift the weight forwards. So more of your weight is going over the shoulders. Your chin might even come over those shoulders. And then breathing into this stretch. Big breath in. Feeling those shoulders melting down. And slowly from here, there's no real graceful way to get out. Just Wiggling those hands back through. Coming back to our Sphinx pose. And then from here we extend that left hand out in front to lift the forearm and the elbow. And then take the right arm out towards that side. So that arm's going first, reaching the right arm through. And then taking the left arm over towards the right. The further those hands go in the opposite direction, the deeper the stretch you'll find. And then if you want, if you did it on the other side, or maybe you just want to try it on this side, you can tuck the back toes and shift that weight forward. Taking more of that weight over the top of those shoulders. Breathing into this deep shoulder stretch. Inhale. And exhale. Even when you take that big breath in, feeling it coming into that upper back. Finding space, exhale, melting down. And then slowly taking your time, walking those elbows back in. And then from here, lowering all the way down onto the chest. I want you to roll all the way onto your back. So you'll find ourselves lying on your back, but your head is still up, that top end of the mat. And then from here, bringing the right knee into the chest, just gently squeezing it in, inhale. As we exhale, guiding that knee over towards the left. Just slowing everything down, twisting through the spine at the end of the class. Releasing any last minute tensions. Inhale. And exhale. You can close your eyes if you want to. And then your next inhale, come back through center, switch the legs. Bringing the left knee into the chest now, squeezing it in. And then exhale, guiding that knee over towards the left, or the right, sorry. Feeling that ringing sensation through the spine, like you're wringing out a big bath towel. Big breath in. And exhale, release into the twist. And then from here, slowly rolling onto the back. You can bring both knees into the chest, giving yourself one last little squeeze, even rocking side to side, massaging the lower back. And then with those eyes closed, letting the legs go out long. Arms by the side. Inhale through the nose, filling the lungs up, down to the belly, all the way up to the chest, holding at the top. Open the mouth, we sigh the breath out, feeling all the muscles relax, feeling the body heavy against the ground. Just staying with this for the last couple of minutes of the class. From here, just deepening the breath. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Circling the wrists, the ankles. Gradually building some movement back into the body. And you can bring your knees into the chest. Either rolling onto your side and coming up, or even rocking straight up. And then coming into a comfortable seated position. And once we're there, bringing the palms together, just rolling the shoulders up to the ears, down the back. Inhale here, and exhale. Namaste.